Welcome, this is Nathan and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to continue taking a look at a scenario where civilization restarts. Episode 43, I was going to say 42 but it's not, I had to think there. In the last video we saw the beginning of World War III, the Eurasian Clash. And it's certainly going to be the biggest war so far in this series. Because right now, the Alliance layer will explain things. As of right now, as you can see here, on the Heart Team's Alliance, we have Russia, the red team, the Lion team, Persia, the blue team, the Algerian team, the chocolate team, and I believe that's it. And on the cross team, we have Libya, Italy, Rome, or green team, Poland, cyan team, Central Asian Union, India, I'm going to call them India from now on, and Korea. So, four of those countries are the major players in this war. There are two major players on each side. Central Asian Union, Korea for the Cross Alliance, and the Lion team in Russia for the Heart Alliance. So, if you didn't watch the last video, you've just been spoiled. Sorry about that. Can't really control you watching the series out of order. Now, we're going to pick up from where we left off, where I think the Central Asian Union began the invasion of the red team. Now, there is Russian defensive forces here, but I'm sorry, the red team ain't going to stand a chance against the Central Asian Union. The fact they have a two-front war against them just doesn't help this fact. But this definitely will be bloody. Central Asian Union will make a very bloody push to capture the capital of this country, which is successful. And here we see the beginning of the next plan, which is cut off the coast. Which you can see here is going successfully. I'm probably going to have to get the map back from episode 40 for this, because there is no way this map's going to be salvageable after this. The Central Asian Union will now connect their areas up, and they will officially connect with their land in the pink team. And they will begin pushing in right here, and will also try to begin an encirclement, which will actually begin to be successful. And at this point, Russia's kind of like, okay, yeah, the red team's screwed. We need to just get our troops out of there and put a defensive line. So all troops, red team troops and Russian troops that are in the red team are just told to evacuate. Like, they're not even told to fight, they're told to evacuate. And they evacuate up to here. Let me just draw it in. They evacuate up to here. Also, this is defended. There is no way they're going to get into that. They evacuate up to here, where the Russians and the red team have set up a defensive force. The Central Asian Union ain't getting through that. Now, the Central Asian Union is in a very bad spot. Korea is on the other side of the world. To send troops to well, they can't. Central Asian Union's landlocked. I never even realised that. The Central Asian Union's in a horrible spot for this world war. I just realised they don't even border an ally. Like, I don't even know if this... Being landlocked, being one of the strongest countries in the world, and fighting number 3 and number 2 is like 4 and number 2, not number 3. I'm not sure if Russia's number 3. Anyway, we're coming over here to Europe. The first target of the Heart teams, the Heart Alliance, is to wipe... That is nukes. We'll get to that in a minute. The first target of the Heart team, is to eradicate Europe and Libya. Don't ask why they're here. They want to eradicate Europe so that there is no thorn on their side, and this is going to be left to the chocolate team and lion team to fulfill. Russia needs to focus on protecting Persia and the red team, and that's going to be their priority. So here, we see the end. We see the downfall of the green team. With the lion team's entrance into the war, things are going to get just really bad. Lion team troops will immediately move into the oldest area of the green team, Greece, which are completely siege. Maybe it's good your capital isn't there anymore. And the pink team, who wasn't really meant to get involved, I'm going to actually colour in Sardinia as captured. They've just taken over Sicily. And it's here we see the problem with the Green Team. The entire Green Team's existence in this series has been expansionist, collapse, regrow, expansionist, collapse. The Green Team just can't seem to catch break. They are always expansionist, and they've always been like that. That's their history. Sure, there are some countries on this map that also have that sort of similar history, but the Green Team has always been about expansion, and it's always been their thing. I think they joined in on World War One to gain land. They end up getting sent back to Greece. They joined World War Two kind of like the end. They didn't join it, but they got land, and they expanded up into the remains of the Khaki Team. And we can see here that they began World War Three. I will say it. Yes, World War III technically began in Central Asia, but technically it began in Europe. But nobody knew at the time that it would escalate into World War III, the Eurasian clash. Nobody knew that. And the Green Team's leader is just, he doesn't know what to do. I mean, like, what are you meant to do? You are isolated away from the Central Asian Union. If Korea were to send supplies to you, it's very likely the blue team would blow them up. That's the fill bucket. The blue team would probably blow them up. And even if they go all the way around... Now, did I mention the Burgundy team? The Burgundy team's involved in this war. I'm pretty sure they are. If not, they joined the war because they are close allies with the Chocolate Team. So, it's here we just see the front in Europe completely fall apart. Comparing the strengths of the Chocolate Team and there's just no way. The Cyan Team will hold off a stalemate with Chocolate Team, but while that's happening, the Green Team is completely failing. The country's beginning to just rise up, and people are beginning to rise up. People have had enough of this expansionist government that has been ruling the country since World War One. And yes, I'm serious, the expansionist government has been in this country since World War One. And we see areas like the Italian peninsula just coming in with open arms for the Algerians. At this point, it looks like the Green Team is slowly come to an end as more and more troops flood to the capital. But it's here the the Green Team is rising. The leader is taken, and I'm not going to explain how he's killed, but I'll give you this: he is brutally murdered by civilians. And with this, the capital will rise up and will join the Algerians, leading to a new government being put in place which completely wipes the Green Team out of the war. They're out of the war. Their government surrendered, so all land that was occupied by the Green Team is now under the control of the Chocolate Team in Algeria. With the loss of the Green Team, gotta get feeling Corsica. With the loss of the Green Team, this world war is already off to a pretty bad start. Now, Korea's troops, we'll mention that in a minute. I'll mention that in a minute. With the loss of the Green Team, the Cyan Team is now going to have to hold even bigger front, and it's probably not going to help because the Lion Team is now helping Russia to push back Poland. I will have to mention some countries who might get involved in the war and might not, but I don't know how to mention them. We see troops enter into Poland, and Poland is like, okay, can we peace out? And Russia says no. Russia is no longer as weak as they were back then. They take the capital of Poland and finally finish off Poland. Poland will capitulate, but the Cyan Team will rush in and take as much as they can, which is about up to here. And the Cyan Team now is holding a front with the Chocolate Team and Russia. Cyan Team, you might be a bit screwed. At this point, the Cyan Team is begging for help. They scream out to the Central Asian Union, India, and the Koreans, and they're like, we need some help, even if it's a little bit, anything would help. We are about to get crushed. And no response is heard. The Cyan Team is basically abandoned. And so was Poland and Italy. Both of them were abandoned. Central Asian Union the Central Asian Union's plan for this war was to just have them as bait. They were basically just a bait so that the Lion Team in Russia were distracted enough for them to... We need a name for the Lion Team. I can't keep calling them the Lion Team. I've been thinking about calling them the Ottomans, because they do own a lot of land that is owned by the Ottoman Empire in real life. I just don't know what to call them. Do you want to call them the Ottoman Empire, or... No, not an empire. Do you want to call them the Ottomans, or do you want to call them Turkey, or do you want to call them... the Byzantine? They're not really the Byzantines, they've been around... They're definitely more Turkey. Anyway, come back up to here, that is Russia, okay. Coming back up to here, the Red Team's completely capitulated. The Central Asian Union was able to break through, but now we see the Central Asian Union's second plan of this war. Capture the Russian territory of the Pink Team. Now, this could go either way. This could go well and they'll capture it, or it could go terribly and they won't capture it. And it doesn't even go as well as they were hoping. In fact, it goes like this. That's barely anything. And in all reality, they get pushed out. I don't think they would be able to invade it. You know what they are invading? Persia. Troops will enter into Persia and immediately strike for the capital, failing. Persia is a lot stronger than the Red Team, I'll point that out. And also they have help from the Lion Team and Blue Team. So with this fail, they begin to move around down here, and they get stopped. And the Central Asian Union just kind of takes a moment to think. They need India. They need to link up with India so that troops can get to them easier. And would you look who is right in between the both of them? Pakistan. This poor country, I don't even know where to begin with you. So, with some definitely denying, really bad stuff against humans, the Central Asian Union and India will begin their invasion into Pakistan. I am sorry, but this is literally... I feel so bad for this country. They just came back. This country gets absolutely clapped. They're a new country. They are still kind of building up. They lose their capital, immediately, and just to get out of the way. Yeah. Now, I don't think it'd be all owned by India, but I'm not going to have it highlighted as owned by the Central Asian Union. This would definitely take a while, don't get me wrong, but just for the video, it's just going to be filled in, because they wouldn't capture it all. With this, troops can now go through India into the Central Asian Union, which is going to make this war a whole lot easier. And right now, it's kind of even. Right now I'd say the Heart Team's winning, but, the Cross Team is definitely catching up. They've taken out the Red Team and might even be able to take out Persia, and as well as taking out Pakistan. But I think it's time we mention some countries. Mostly the countries in the Circle Alliance. How do they feel about the betrayal of Korea? Because Korea was meant to always be against... Was always meant to be against the Central Asian Union. They never supported it. Well, the country who's most hurt by this betrayal is the Green Team. They thought that if a world war were to ever break out, the Central Asian Union would absolutely get crushed by Russia, Lion Team, and Korea. But with Korea showing its true side, and the Green Team obviously not being able to trust its ally, they're out. They break all diplomatic ties with Korea, and they're out. So they leave the Circle Alliance. I'm not going to show it here. Similar thing with Siberia. Which country do I call Siberia? I don't know. The Siberian country is also out. This is a risky move because they border Korea, but they know Korea probably won't invade them because they're using all their manpower to help the Central Asian Union. They're out. They simply just do not care. And China, they're going to remain in the alliance. Although, if anything else happens, they're out. And another country we need to discuss is Finland. Will they be joining this war? Most likely not. If they were to join this war, it'd be on the Cross Team, and they'd get crushed. They would lose land, most likely if the Heart Team wins. They would lose land, and it would be not worth it. If they joined the Heart Alliance, not going to happen. They don't have good relations with Russia, but if they did, they would only get war reparations, and honestly, Finland doesn't even want to join this war. If the war turns in favour of the Heart of the cross team, maybe they'll join, but right now it does not seem to be going that way. Anyway, back over here to the Cyan team. It's about time we see their demise. Turn this off. Troops from the Chocolate team are now flooding in, and at this point, the Cyan team has accepted fate. The leader, realizing that he's probably going to be arrested for everything he's done, he decides that during his final days of his country, he's gonna just end it. So the leader of the Cyan team, once Russia invades and enters into the Cyan team, the leader of the Cyan team will just decide, you know what, there's no point. We're probably going to get arrested for this. And he ends his own life in the capital. And with this, the military has no orders. The vice president tries to take control, but she's quickly put out of order because nobody wants to listen to her. And we see the capitulation of the Cyan team. Just like that. Oh my god, colour it in. Just like that. Europe is now officially out of the war. All these countries are now going to be sending troops to the Central Asian Union. The Central Asian Union is like, oh crap, that did not go as well as we were hoping. They were hoping that these countries would hold off a lot longer. But, you know, the Green team fell apart. Poland was too weak to fight Russia on the Line team, and the Cyan team, well, his leader killed himself. So it feels like Central Asian Union is just losing it's just having loss after loss after loss. And with troops from the Chocolate team now arriving, and Burgundy team, and also Algeria, this war might not end so well. But they still have hope. They still have hope that they will win this war somehow. Coming down here to Africa, Algeria's going to have a really quick side mission. They're going to be invading Libya. I don't even know why Libya... I just chucked Libya. Libya was not planning to join this war. I just want to make that clear. I just thought another distraction, maybe for like... I don't know. I have no reason to give you why Libya joined the war. Libya will absolutely get wrecked, lose their capital, and once they lose their coast, they just sign non-aggression. They basically just sign a ceasefire saying, like, okay, we surrender, we do not want to get involved anymore. I'm actually going to leave them like that. The leader who fled to the next major city just signs a ceasefire saying, like, okay, we're out of this war, we don't want to deal with this. And just like that, there is no more distractions for Algeria or the Chocolate team. They're all focused on the Central Asian Union. And at this point, the Central Asian Union, India, and Korea are the only three remaining members. And kind of funny, they're the strongest members, in India. So they started to meet up. They started to all meet up in the capital of India. And they discuss a few things. A few things that nobody even realizes they're discussing. And at this point, Russia and the Line team, as well as the Blue team, they're also discussing some stuff. And all the neutral countries in the world kind of are just holding their breath. Because, this war could go nuclear, and it hasn't. And the most neutral countries, we're going to mention them, the North American Economic Alliance, they don't want to see nuclear war break out. America doesn't want to see that. Mexico doesn't want to see that. Basically, all South America doesn't want to see that. A good majority of Africa, God, even Algeria and the Chocolate team don't even want to see nuclear war break out. People know the horror of these nukes. If these nukes are in the wrong hands, which they appear to be with Korea, all hell could break loose. Asia could just lose all its major powers and the world economy can just plummet forever. If Korea uses their nuke on Russia or the Line team will launch their nukes at Korea, which will then escalate things to launching nukes at Russia or Line team again, and then launching nukes to the Central Asian Union. And you can see where they would go. It would just lead to those four countries killing each other. But the meeting in India's capital is finally over, and the meeting in about 30 minutes later, the meeting in... Well, actually, they take place on separate days, but the next day, the meeting in Russia takes place in the Blue team's capital, and then that finishes, and then we have a stalemate. because no front lines moving. Until Russia enacts its first plan of this war. Here we have Operation Blitzkrieg. The yellow team joins the war. And in the yellow team, without anybody knowing, troops from Russia, line team, Persia, and the blue team have all been gathering in the yellow team, ready to do this invasion. The yellow team is willing to sacrifice all their army. They're willing to give up they're willing to even sacrifice their country to get rid of the Central Asian Union. Their leader is very against it, and they just want the Central Asian Union gone. So here we have Operation Blitzkrieg being put into power, and it is an absolute success. We see about 1 million troops exit out from the yellow team, flooding into the Central Asian Union with one goal in mind: take any major city you find. They reach out, take one over here, and then they reach out, take another one over here, and it's just insane. A very large encirclement takes place down here, which takes out this area. Oh no. Hold on. Anyway, back. And this operation goes well until it doesn't. Because, I mean, this is Blitzkrieg. You saw what happened with Germany. It did work in France, but here they're going through pretty rough terrain, and it gets to a point where the operation is put to a halt because they're losing a lot of troops. About half the troops are now dead. And the Central Asian Union's like, oh crap, we may have to just straight up use our secret weapon. So a quick signal sent over to the Korean capital, which is heard, and Korea's like, okay, you sure? And the Central Asian Union's like, just do it, we are about to get crushed, just launch it. And 5 unknown objects are launched across Siberia. The Siberians pick it up and almost immediately know what it is, alerting the line team and the Russians. But sadly, that signal gets them too late, as these things will hit one by one on key areas. The first one lands over here in Belarus. The second one lands over here in the Latvia region. The third one lands very close to the capital. The fourth one lands in Crimea. And the fifth one lands right in the middle of the pink team. Korea has just launched 5 of their nukes. And in response to this, the line team is going to launch their nukes. 3 nukes from the line team exit out, and 2 of them, bam, into the Central Asian Union, and another one, which is heading to Korea, is shot down, very luckily. But unfortunately, the nuke wasn't shot down, it was shot down over the green team. And this nuke lands in the green team. It was shot down, but it was still active. They didn't blow it up in the sky. They shot it down somehow and didn't activate it. Because the technology for it isn't advanced, just blow it up in the middle of the sky. And this nuke lands on the green team. And the green team looks at the line team and goes, what? And the line team's like, it wasn't us, we swear it wasn't us. And the green team is like, oh, I get it. The green team, who was one of the greatest allies of Korea, decides to swap sides as they join the war against Korea. At this point, the war is reaching its climax. Nukes have just got involved, and the war is about to get a whole lot more bloody. That is going to do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.